You know, we've seen some pretty cool clicker games over the last few years that go in depth to a particular industry quite well. And for those of you who perhaps don't know me very well, I was in the movie business for a little bit. I went to school for film and video production. I've worked in both union and non-union gigs around the United States, in LA, and I even created my own feature-length film that was shot in multiple countries. So I know a little bit about the industry that this game, the executive movie industry tycoon, is going to guide us through. It should be a pretty good time. My name is Charlie, and this video is sponsored by the publisher of the game, Goblins Publishing. I'm here to show you an introduction to the game, and if you like what you see, you can learn more about it with the link in the description, and of course show some love in the comments and hit the like button and all that stuff too. I'm going to hit Start New Game. You can choose to start in Hollywood or Beijing, Chinawood, I guess is what they're calling it here. And you can go through there. You can go through the difficulty. This is your starting cash, but it also determines whether you're in debt or not, and also how many themes you have to start with. So easy, silver spoon, right? $30 million and no debt. You also have the most themes to choose from initially. We can go medium, hard, or very hard. I don't really know exactly which one I do here. Let's try hard and see what happens. You know, like I said, I don't know how the game works, but I kind of have an okay understanding of how the industry works. So we'll try hard and see what goes. And again, I'm just here to show you the game, so no commitments to many videos. But if you want to see more of the game, be sure to let me know down in the comments, and maybe we'll take a look at it a little bit more in depth. So the first thing we're going to do is choose like a little icon and a name for our studio, and I'm going to go with Fedora Films. If you've been around this channel for a while, you kind of understand why. And then we're going to say, I don't know, not really sure which one looks more like me. I don't have red hair, so I guess I'm going to go here. Why not? And I'm just going to be Charlie. All right, we're just going to leave it as Charlie. No last name required. Everyone will know me as Charlie. Okay, so we start in an office. Okay, now we've played several movie industry games in the past here, so I'm not going to reference them directly. It is a sponsored video after all, but if you've been around this channel a while, you'll kind of see the pros and cons of the different approaches that each of these games do. I would compare this one closer to like Startup Company in how it executes and how you play the game, which is not a film industry game, so it's not really like a competing theme. Okay, so you're a budding movie producer with big dreams and a tight budget. We're starting solo. It's up to us to build our film empire from scratch. So the first thing we're going to want to do is just assess the situation. All right, we have $30 million up the top. We have no prestige, and the more films we make and the better films we make and the better rated they are, the higher the prestige will go, and that will attract better talent. People who have more experience in the industry begin to take us more seriously and maybe even want to work with us. All right. Then we have research points. We're going to develop that as we put out more films, timing and stuff like this. The calendar, there's 4 weeks every month. This is our month and this is our year. Okay. So the first thing it wants us to do is is to make a film. And that is the advice I give everyone who wants to make movies. You want to make a YouTube channel, whatever it is, just make things. You don't need to go crazy on research. Just make things. You know what you kind of like to watch, so try to just make something that you like to watch. And as you do that, we'll get experience from it. That'll equate to research points, and we'll start to learn a little bit more about the films that we're making and make better movies as a result. So we're going to go ahead and hit new movie. This is our pre-production stage. And essentially, we're just going to pick small budget because we don't really have much of a budget for things right now. We need to pick a genre. Now, we can't do multi-genre yet. We have to research that. So we're going to start with our first genre. And I have all of these to choose from. And let's go with a comedy. Everybody likes funny movies, right? As long as we're funny. I don't even know if our guy's funny, but hopefully we're funny. We got dog as a theme. These are kind of randomized whenever you start the game, but there are a lot of themes. You just have to unlock them. So we have monster, military, witch, superhero, high school. Man, are we going to go with a high school comedy at this point? I don't know about that, man. We could do a revenge, a dog comedy. Maybe a funny dog movie, you know? Could be a funny dog movie, I guess. And we'll make this PG. It's the lowest rating we can go. We want this to be a nice family movie, right? Okay, so we're gonna pick a director. Now, there's a lot of directors in the world here, and not all of them are available to us because we don't have the prestige to attract them. But we can see some details about a variety of different directors. We have their domestic popularity, and right now this is all we can appeal to. So yeah, goes up to 100. We got a ways to go, but we have their popularity. Then there's international popularity. There's the critics score. This is sort of like what critics have given them in the past. This is their script. This is how comfortable they are with the script. So the higher this number is, probably the better production you're going to make. It's a director that actually likes the script. You don't want a director that hates the script. Okay, so you kind of have to find the balance with this. For this one, I think I'll just go with Messley here. Sure, they really like the script. Their critic score is okay. It's not the greatest, but it's okay, and they really like the script, so I'm gonna give them a chance. No, I'm not, and here's why. So not only is their cost quite high compared to everyone else's, right? We're starting on like a shoestring budget here, but these guys want participation. That means they want a cut of the profits from the film. Now, we are already going to be giving up a lot of our profits through distribution initially, and that's just an extra 1.5%. Probably not worth that. I love the script. So I might actually want to choose a different person in this case. Somebody who maybe cost a little bit less. For our first film, I think that might be safe. So instead, we're going to go down to Dorton McCosta here, who the critics really love him. He doesn't love the script, but he doesn't hate it either. He's going to take a $30K flat rate, and he doesn't want any participation. So we're going to grab that. Okay, lead role. Again, we're kind of just looking at who's our star, right? Who's going to be our actor? Now, domestic popularity. I guess people really hate Aubert here. I'm not sure why, but he's great, but then like somehow people hate him. I don't know how that works. So we're going to have to find a new balance here. I'm thinking Probert here. He's very expensive. $50,000 for him, but if it makes the movie better, he's got the highest rating of everybody right now. So he does want a little bit of participation, though. I would really like to avoid that. So why don't we pop this in? Let's pop this in. You can use these tabs here to kind of sort people if you want to. And so I'm seeing maybe, that 1% might be worth it in this case. This one here is okay though. Well, you can use Berna, 40K, but there's no participation. So let's try Berna. All right, so pre-production is all about establishing what you're making and who is going to be helping you make it. That's really what pre-production is all about. The production team is the people who we have on staff, which at the moment is just me. I'm a junior. I'm just a junior at the company, and the more experience I get and the longer I've been, we can move up to mid, expert, executive, etc. So right now we're just idle, and this is my skills. I'm not very good at this. We're gonna have to get better at that as we go, huh? Okay, so with that being done, we can go ahead and hit next, except I have to name the movie. You know what? How about Pupper Party? This is Pupper Party. It's gonna be our dog comedy, all right? There we go. So the first thing that happens is, Charlie here, he's going to be writing the film, or he's going to get a pre-production in order, and then we're going to start scripting things out. We have currently a loss of $70,000 on this film. That's what we have so far. So I'm going to speed up time a little bit and let this run. You can see how long it takes to gather things when you're just a solo operation. And then we get our production planning. How much percentage are we going to put into the writing, costume and makeup, and set design? Each genre that you pick has an ideal sort of range for these three sliders. And depending on what kind of film you're making, that's what you want to focus on. So for example, if you're making a comedy, it's probably a good idea to put more into the writing, because you want the jokes to be funny, right? You don't want to be crappy writing. Costume and makeup is probably not as important, but it could be, because costumes are, costumes can make things funnier, and then you have set design. So what I think I might do is just bring the set design down a little bit here, and let's pump the writing up to 45. We'll put costume and makeup 35, set design at 20. I think for this particular film and the way it's set up, these might be okay sliders. I don't know that, but we might. Now we can also pick a premium feature if we have them unlocked, and this is where we can kind of improve our film a little bit more. We don't have anything unlocked though, so different dialogues, script, costume and makeup, props. There's various different feature sets that we can add to this that will change the outlook of this and make it a more premium production, if we will. We don't have that, so we're just going to hit next. Now you might be wondering, is there any way to figure out where those sliders should be? And yes, through making movies, you will gain information, and not just your character levels up, but also insights for you, the player, to understand various different genres and how films are made, in that you can then put the sliders where they need to be. So we have special effects, sound design, and editing. This is the post-production planning process, right? How much do we want to put into various different things here? For a comedy, right? This is a dog comedy. We don't have a knowledge of whether these two things work together or not. We don't have knowledge of whether comedy and PG is very good or not. We get all this information as we play. So comedy editing tends to be a pretty important part of a comedy. The way it's edited can make things either very funny or not funny at all. Sound design and music is usually a pretty important part, but it's not as important. And then we have special effects, which are not as important either, usually in a film like this. So I'm actually going to bump this up, I think, to go about here with it. I don't think special effects are going to be that big of a deal for a comedy movie about a dog. So we're gonna say that this is our focus here. And again, we can choose premium features if we had them available. Things like stunts, that would have been really nice to have for something like this, because stunts have a way of making things funny. Especially if you're a goofball, right, and you're doing things goofy. Sure, sound recording, storytelling, pacing, etc. So let's go ahead and hit next, and that will send that through that filming process. So now we're making the movie, and you'll see our costs are up to almost $2 million now. Oh boy. All right, next, we need to choose a distribution type. This is something we want to get in-house because third-party distributors will take a huge portion of our profits. So we're going to want to work on getting this in-house pretty soon. But for now, all we have is third-party distribution. We can either go to domestic or worldwide, and it's too expensive to go worldwide, so we're going to focus on domestic. We also can't go worldwide because we don't have it unlocked, right? There's a lot of stuff that has to happen there. So third-party distribution, we don't have a sales team, so we don't have to pick anybody. This is an optional thing. And what happens with third-party distribution is that for these guys, they're going to take a revenue share. And if we have a sales department, that'd be nice, but we don't have a sales team for that. So we're going to go ahead and hit next and let that go. Now, as this part begins, I'm going to have Charlie, once the movie comes out, we're going to have Charlie make another movie right away, right? You want to have people always be doing things and to not have them ever be idle. So as we get our third-party distributor on here, and post-production is in process. So this is almost done. When this is done, then we can have Charlie making something else, because right now he's, editing. So Lion's Door or 1,000 Years Entertainment. So these two distributors have slightly different terms. Sometimes they will. In this case, they don't really have that different, except they have different release dates. So these guys will release the film in December. These guys are looking at August, which is really close, which is nice for us. We want to get the film out there. Now, they have certain genres that are favorite for them. And in this case, these guys have a favorite genre that matches up. So it might work better. They might be able to distribute the film better. But these guys are releasing so much earlier. I like that. If I hit this, you can see December, we have other movies that are releasing during this time. And if those movies are in our same genre, like this competing genre, this is a comedy movie, and it has a much higher budget, there's a good chance that people will go to this movie. And that means they're not going to our movie, right? So you have to be conscious of competition when you're releasing. The time period you release, the day of release is very important. And you don't just release it as soon as it's made. Most films are not released just as soon as you can. There's a strategy to when they're releasing things to give them the optimal potential for traffic. In this case, I don't think December is going to work for us very well because there is a competing film right there with a very large budget. I don't like that. So now if we choose 1,000 Years Entertainment, they don't have that affinity. And they also have a competing film here, but the budget for this one is only $5,000. I would really like to know how you made this film for $5,000 because I want to copy you. This one was way too expensive. I want to copy this person. But either way, this film, it is a competing genre, but it's so low budget that I think we'll probably be fine to compete with this one. The other film is rated R, so it doesn't have the same target demographic. We're looking at PG. So this one is our main competition, and because of the budget, I think we'll probably fare okay next to it. So we're gonna go ahead and put in these guys here. All right, so they need to release this like fast, so it's gonna be released now. Yeah. Okay, after we've released it, we have critic scores, right? And it's gonna relate us the avocado meter and the soda meter. These are two things. You can think of it like what's that? What's it called? Tomato? Rotten tomato, right? This is the avocado meter instead. This is basically a critic score and the overall reflection of the scores for the general audience, okay? So you have what critics think and the general audience think. Sometimes these things are going to be closely related. Sometimes they might be very far apart. It kind of depends on your, you know, if you went really artsy with it, but the audience maybe didn't, the general audience maybe didn't receive it quite as well. The critics may love it. The general audience may not so much, or vice versa. You might have just this absolute, you know, cult film that was just trashed by critics. They just hated it. But like there's this cult following around it and everybody loves it. There might be a disconnect, and it kind of depends on how you made it. So this one did okay, and we're going to hit next on that. Now, while we're doing this, we're going to make another film. We don't want to sit still and do nothing. So while this is running in the theaters, and while we're having our third parties do all of our marketing and stuff, we're going to be focusing on a different film. So we have another budget size is small, and we can try something different here. Let's try, I don't want to do another comedy. So let's maybe do an adventure movie. Okay, we'll try an adventure movie, and then theme for our adventure movie, this could be a superhero. I don't know if superhero works really well with adventure. Let's come back. Let's go action instead. So an action, superhero, those two things, they're definitely gonna synchronize. I think that's gonna be great. And let's go PG-13. It lets us do more things, right? If you're not familiar with how the rating system works, essentially the more adult themed you get, the higher that rating goes. In PG-13, you can do things in a PG-13 movie that you can't do in PG. You can say things in a PG-13 movie. You can have themes about how things work, like violence, for example. You can do things like that in PG-13 that you can't do in PG, right? And then same thing with R. You can do a lot more with R that you can't do with PG-13. But the audience that you're targeting is a very different audience. So the higher up you go, I guess the lower in this list you go, the less potential audience you will have as well. So you kind of have to know what you're picking, what you're targeting. So for the director, let's see who really likes the script. You know what? Nestle likes the script. She still wants that 1.5% though. She just wants that all the time. But she really likes the script. You know what? We could go, let's go with this person, Alwyn, right? It's kind of mediocre everywhere, but they are real cheap and they don't want any participation. I like that. And then we'll go for the lead role here. And let's say, yeah, why not? Wadham Est. Is that like Adam West? I'm just saying. 50,000 is a lot though. And I don't know if I like that, but I feel like 50K cost with 0 on the take is probably better than 10K cost and 1.5%, depending on how well the movie does. It all depends on how well the movie does. I like to try to avoid participation at all costs. I'm gonna take this. Yeah, we're gonna take this guy because he really likes the script and the critics really love him. So I think it'll really drive things up. And this one is gonna be what's the name for this movie? This is gonna be I could say The Boys, but it's kind of, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna put it with The Boys. If you haven't seen that show, very adult. Don't let your kids see it. But I think it's certainly a good. It's worth your time if you're into things that are quite raunchy and a very high level adult sense of humor. You can appreciate The Boys, I think. All right, so target production looks like we're gonna hit that. Nice. Features, reputation, not so much. We can go ahead and hit that, and we'll start this one off now too. All right, so we are making money now, and we have made enough from this to we're actually profiting quite well. This is good. It worked out really well. We had good release. We had good marketing from the third party here. Now they are taking, you saw that, they're taking 46% of the profits, but they are absorbing all of the risks and all of the costs associated with marketing and distribution, right? They are taking care of everything in that, right? So I don't have any of the risks associated with that. If the movie completely bombs, they're absorbing all that cost. I don't have to. Okay, production planning here for this one. Now, this one is an action movie. We are going to want excellent set design, costume and makeup, and we don't really need a whole lot on the writing. I mean, I don't know if the writing necessarily needs to be at 10%. You can't go any lower than 10%. I don't think it necessarily wants to be 10%, but it doesn't need... yeah, I think we're going to go like this. Costume makeup 40%, set design 45%. Because an action movie, you really want to have that believable sets. You really want to have believable locations, costumes. You want all those things to be really high end. The writing isn't as important. All right, think Michael Bay. Okay, think Transformers. Really high end visuals. Not that complicated of a script. Let's go ahead and hit next and let that go now too. Now, you can see the research points are going up as we go here. And I will actually go in and look at that in a second here. Popper Party did okay. Got a total score of a B. It's nice. Good profits and losses and all those things. Yeah, we're pretty good there. So, all good things. Nice. Now, we're screenwriting right now, but now that we've made a movie and we have one completed and that's gone, it's no longer in theaters, all that stuff is done. Now that we have that, we can go in and learn more from it. And we'll look at that in a second. So post-production planning for our action movie. You want special effects. You want kind of everything, but you're going to want this. Yeah. Sound design, music, special effects budget needs to be quite high, I would think. Here, let's try, let's try something like this. We'll go 40% here and then we'll hit 30 on each of these. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're come down here to movies. Your movies, and this right here is going to be a list of all of our films, and we can click these to get an analysis. We can generate some more information about this if we want to, so we can see how well it did domestically, internationally. We didn't release it internationally, so that makes sense that it's 0. And we can go to an insights menu and generate an insight on Popper Party. Now, we can't do this unless we have somebody available, and right now we don't have anyone available because our only employee, us, are currently shooting another movie. Okay, so you have to have the person available for that. So as we finish this one up and this one goes out to be distributed and all that stuff, when that happens, we can then analyze that other movie to get a feel for, you know, how well we did and to learn something from it, so we know where to go from there. So we'll take third party domestic here again. We don't have any sales team. Everything is fine here. Go try to find somebody with that. And this is the let's get started here, this thing. It's not going to let me get into the research menu until I do this, which is why I'm going to generate that report as soon as this is done. So we have Camellia Pictures and IFN Films. Neither one of these have any type of like bias towards our category. And it looks like these guys want to wait a little longer to release, which isn't great, but they're only going to take 48% instead of 50. I think it's probably worth that extra 2%, but to release quicker, I think that might be worth it. June is not, if it releases near the end of June, it could be kind of cool to have like something near the 4th of July. But I think the extra 2% is worth that date because I could get another film going by that date. I don't want to compete with myself later when I make another film. So I'm gonna choose these guys anyway. Let's see what they have here. So there's an action film happening in March as well that has a slightly lower budget than ours. They have an R rating, so I don't think they would really compete with us too much because our rating is foundationally different to have an R movie and a PG-13 movie. So I don't think it would necessarily overlap us as much as another PG-13 movie would. But just to see what's happening in June, we don't have... Okay, there's another one that's a little lower budget down here, also rated R. And, you know, there's actually more films in the state too. I'm gonna let this be. I'm gonna say this one here is where I'm gonna go, just to release it quicker. I'm fine with that. I mean, if I can release it in less than a month away, that's just gonna be good for me, I think. Decent fun with a good mix of excitement and drama. We did okay. Soda meter's a little higher this time. Critics are maybe a little bit less into it, but that's okay. And then this, we'll do the theatrical run here now too. So what we can do is we can go into our analysis and we have Popper Party and The Boys, okay? And this one is in theaters. We can work on the insights and stuff right now if we want to, but we're gonna do Popper Party first. Let's choose ourselves. and we're going to generate insights on Pupper Party. And all we're doing here is basically just looking at how it did and trying to figure out in our heads, like, how can we improve this film, right? Is what our character's doing. And he's going to get some insights into like those sliders. Did we put this slider for that genre? Did we put it in the right spot? Or where is the right zone? And then later on, when we make future films with that genre, we'll kind of have more information on where we should place these things to get an optimal release. All right, so we made a little bit of money on that one, but it's not great. We are, I mean, we're low here. I actually don't know how to pay the loan. So we have a loan, right? Current book value is -1. I haven't actually looked at loans in the game yet, so I don't exactly know where that is, but this difficulty supposedly had a loan. At least I thought it did. Yeah, repay right here. So I can't repay small amounts. I guess I have to pay everything all at once if I pay it. But okay, we are already paying it though, because we're making monthly payments anyway. Okay, so there's a monthly payment system with it. That's good. 240 months at 5%. Yikes. Yeah, we want to do that as fast as possible. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so what we've learned from this and our analysis of this is that for comedy, and we're looking at costume and makeup here for comedies, we kind of went a little bit too much on the costume and makeup. We could have been in this range from here to here. So we just went a little high on that. We could have designated, we could have put those resources into a different part of the production. Okay, so that's what we learned from this one. It's a little bit there, but we got it. And we also learned that there's a good affinity here too. Comedy and dog works pretty well. All right, it's good. It's not the best, but it works okay, right? So we can do comedy and dog later on, and it's an okay mixture there. So we learned that, and that's great. Let's go in and do another analysis really quick here on the boys, just so we can learn a little bit more about our action movie, get better insights on that. And then now we have access to research. So if I go into research, there's a lot to this, okay? And I'm kind of whipping through the game fairly fast here. I'm trying to show you as much as I can in the span of like that targeted 45 minutes that I have here. So we have a business tab, production, post-production, ancillaries, and themes. Okay, and each of these are a very important part on their own right of different things you can do for films. And I'm not entirely sure how the themes one works. I think this is mostly just like I'm actually not sure how this one works. This one, it's got a bunch of question marks in it. I know the green ones are the ones that we have unlocked already, but I'm not sure what the unlock down here actually does. Maybe it's just unlocking a random one when you click it. Could be that. I haven't clicked it yet, but I want to look at other things before I look at that. So in the business tab, we can unlock movie size. We can unlock franchises. I don't recommend starting here. Stay small as long as you can. One of the biggest things that can go wrong in creative industries especially, but really any game about business and managing finances and such, especially if you're playing on like a harder difficulty, is growing too quickly. Stay small as fast as long as you can. That's where I'm at on this. That's my opinion on this. What I would go for, and I don't quite have enough for it yet, is I would go for production, and I would look at trying to get to multi-genre or supporting actor after that. I think those two things are going to add a lot to your films. Analytics is pretty good because it allows you to hire analysts who can generate movie reports and forecast things, so you can be making movies instead of spending months analyzing the movies you've already made. You can be making more movies while someone else analyzes them. That's something that's pretty good too. There's a training tab here as well. Give access to moderate trainings and make yourself ultimately better at your job. And if you can make really good people, you don't need as many, in my opinion. Production tab's pretty good. We can go through various different things. You can get like period writing, and you can get voiceovers available. You know, you can get some ADR going on, maybe building outdoor sets and stuff, right? Golden hour shooting. How would you even know what that is unless you have made films? And you might notice that, hey, you know, when we shot like an hour before sunset, the lighting, that color, the tone, the direction the lighting is coming, man, it just made the shot look so much better. Yeah. So you can learn these types of things and you can get that going, and maybe, just maybe, that will make your production just a little higher quality. Yeah. Post-production, kind of the same things. You can look at different like dubbing. There's the ADR, those stuff. You can look at different types of mocap. You can look at using compositing, the long take, right? I love the long take. I'm a big fan of the long take. I just like the one shot action sequence. Keanu Reeves does it best. It's just fantastic stuff. So you can get into all those types of things if you want to as well. Okay, so anyway, that's how research works in the game. You start at the bottom and you work your way up. And I'm not sure if we're going to necessarily do... I mean, I guess it wants me to do another new theme. This is what it wants me to do. So I guess that's what I'm going to be clicking to get through that. So we'll say theme, and I guess I just click this. And it's just going to... Oh, I get to select 2. Okay. Guess we'll see how that goes. FBI, post-apocalyptic, police, and slasher. Well, I like myself a good old post-apocalypse. And slasher horror films could be okay. Revenge could be interesting for that. FBI, we could do some like, yeah. I think we'll try a post-apocalyptic, maybe police on this. I'm gonna stay away from the horror films for now. It is October now, but I can't make it by October, so I would want to make it later anyway. So we'll get those 2. So that's how we unlock new genres. I guess I could do it again if I wanted to, but is there anything I could unlock here? We could get a sales department, I suppose, allowing us to hire salespeople to help negotiate third-party distribution deals. Okay, maybe get the better third-party distribution. I like it. Let's try that. We'll get a sales department too. Okay, excellent. So now it wants me to release another movie, but I can't do that until after I am done with the insights because I only have one guy working for me, and that's myself. All right, so we got an insight here, and we nailed editing. It's right there. It's a very narrow margin for editing, but we nailed that. Pretty cool. And then also we've learned that action and superhero work excellent together. Gee, can't imagine why. So that's great. That works out pretty well there. We learned some things. Okay, so we would look at another movie if we wanted to. Let's pick a different genre we haven't done yet. Maybe we do something for Christmas. I don't think we could get it done in time though. Yeah. I think we could get it done in time. We learned action movies work really well with superhero stuff. We could just go back and do it again. Yeah. We could do another superhero movie. Gosh, we're going to be one of those studios. Here we go. I'm Marvel now. We could do an action movie, or we could maybe switch it up and do like a military action movie, because that would work okay well too. All right. That would work pretty good. Let's try to make it PG-13 again. And let's see what we got here. This is decent. Look at this. Now, he's going to want participation here, but we're starting to get better popularity. So it might be worth giving him 1% if it really bumps that movie up and he really likes the script. So I'm actually going to go ahead and not avoid that percentage cut, right? Talent participations. And then we're also going to say, yeah, I still don't know why you're a 1. That's horrible. I'm sorry. You just got yourself destined for absolute failure every single time. So the best populated, the critics are not necessarily into this guy, but he's in it. I think maybe we'll go, I really don't want to give another 1% though. Let's, I don't want to ruin it either by having somebody that doesn't fit. Cedric, maybe you're kind of a balanced approach here. Still participation though, man. Let's do this. All right. Now at least I know everybody up here is getting 0. You know what? This is fine. 50K, but 0%. And he really likes the script. I'm gonna go with him. Yeah, I'm gonna go with him. We'll see how that goes. And then we name our movie. We'll call this one Bite the Dust. Try that. Bite the Dust. This is an action military movie starring a 61-year-old Jack Hawkins. I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't know if the game looks at the age of the lead role and if that makes a difference, because it's something like, I'm trying to avoid saying games that directly compete with this one, but in genre, right? But we've seen games in the past where the age of the actor does play a role. It does matter. And I don't know whether this is one of those games. So I guess there's not really a way to find out other than just selecting the guy. So I guess we'll just select the guy. That's fine. Yeah, we'll pick myself as the production team for that. And there we go. Production is already up to 22. Nice. Now we don't have any features or reputation yet, but maybe we can unlock them. So if I go to here, if we wanted to get features, that's this stuff in the production tab. And we could look at things like this. So maybe I want, not period writing. How about we want, what would be good for this kind of movie? Prosthetics would be okay for this. Gore effects could be okay for this. Period wardrobe would probably be a good idea here. Period accurate stuff for like the military. I like that. We can try that. We'll go with period wardrobe. And I guess I can't get anything else because the stuff is like 30 points each. So I just have to wait until I have it. But now we can at least pop that in for our production planning. And we see we have this right here, costume and makeup. Okay, so this is another action movie. And for that, we're going to bring the writing down just a little bit. Yeah, we'll maybe go here. Costumes, makeup will go this way. Set design, we want this to be up high too. So I guess we'll go about here. And then what I can do is click this button, add a new premium features to your film to increase its box office potential. And then we can choose period wardrobe. It costs us an extra $900,000. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, that's okay. Well, yeah, I guess that's what we'll do. I mean, I want to see how that affects it. So now our budget is much higher. Yeah. All right. The list of this year's Gasper nominees has been announced. Unfortunately, I didn't make the cut. Jeez. I'm not going to make... You try to tell me that my tiny little film studio with one guy making stuff is not going to win some big award? Come on. In his first year? All right. So special effects for this. I mean, that's pretty good. It's an action movie, right? We want to have that. I think we know the range, right? We can see that right here. So we know the range for action movie is going to be right here. So that's where we want it. The other two, we're not sure. And, sound design, music maybe isn't as important, but special effects maybe are. I don't actually know because I don't know what the game is going to tell me for that. So I'm going to go ahead and hit go on that. And again, we can analyze this movie later to figure out where we did, how well we did. So something named Timberl Jam won Best Picture. Good for you. Good for you. Distribution type. We'll grab this. And I don't have a sales team yet because I never recruited them. So I need to look at doing that, don't I? Let's take a look at recruiting. So staffing, we can go to Scout and we can try to find a salesperson. Now, right now, all we have is word of mouth to go on. And it costs us 500 grand to try to find that. So I guess we'll start that search and see what it's about here. We are really in deep for this movie. So I'm hoping that this generates some major money, man, because oh my gosh, this loan is bleeding me dry. Like almost 200 grand every month is gone for this loan. All right, so you got a couple of candidates here we can choose from here. They don't have great skills. They want the same market rate. They want stuff, and I guess we'll leave after some time if I don't choose them. I think that's what that means. Yeah. So I think we'll choose you. Now, you have certain personalities too. So personality audacious, loves other audacious people, right? Likes meticulous, doesn't like planners, planner colleagues, don't like creative. And this person right here is meticulous. So these guys could work well together, but how well do they work with me? So I am considered also audacious. Okay, so he'll work really well with me. So I think I'm going to take... Oh, she will, I guess. Jacqueline... I didn't look at the names. Jacqueline Quinn. All right, we'll take that. So we'll hire you. Now it says my office is full. All right, so you can see there's a new person in my office there. I'll look at it in a second. So both of these distributors like action movies. Both of them are taking 47%, and both of them are going to release at the same time. So it kind of doesn't matter, does it? Yeah, there's a Euro Cup here with these guys, but like I'm not really going international, I don't think. This is work in progress. That sounds like me. Details here. No competing films. Lots of competing films. Wow. Okay, well, that's... I guess maybe they're... Oh, sorry, I misread this. This is June and July. There's definitely different. We definitely want July, so we're going to pick this date. Yes. So we have no competition in July. Fantastic. And then there's Jacqueline. Now, she has nothing to do, so we're gonna work on getting her something to do by making another movie. But first, we need to get this keep rolling, and we get a reward. We get $2 million in cash as a reward for this too. So thankfully, we're gonna also earn these from these objectives too. Cool. Certified fresh, 8.0. Amazing, 8.8. We're going to make some serious cash with this, hopefully. Let's get that theatrical run. Excellent. Now we have to hire a salesman. We just did. And we may make a movie and use your salesman to find a third-party distribution deal. Okay, so let's take a look really quick. We want to make another movie. Right, we got to keep cranking them out here, you know? Let's take and make a... Ooh, sci-fi. A sci-fi monster movie. That's probably going to work really well, I think. You know what? We could go R here, but I think I'm going to leave it PG-13. I'm going to leave it to that general audience. I want to get, you know, got to get those teenagers involved, right? We want to make cult classics that the teenagers love. I really don't want to give you guys participation. I'm going to have to on this. Maybe here. This is okay. Yeah, this is all right. 50K or 10K. That's not a very big difference, and it's a huge difference in cost. Kenry Hoster. Yeah, Kenry Hoster. Ooh, 96 down here, though, for the critics. That's nifty. You know what? Hey. I don't know how you... that's a name. And then the main actor or actress. Either one. You know, I'm kind of thinking right here. Zerly Sones, I guess. Not quite as popular for the domestic appeal, but critics love her. And it's just so cheap. So cheap. I like it. All right, so this is a monster sci-fi movie. We're going to call this one... Let's call it From... I can probably spell better here. From Down Below. There we go. From Down Below. And I'll, of course, be the one that makes the film. And production's already up there. Nice. I'm getting better at my job, see? Let's go ahead and hit go on that. All right, now we're making money. You can see it's coming in, right? Definitely good here. We got 26 million. And then here we go. Now, we don't have the insights to know things about production planning yet, but we definitely want to keep going with... I don't think a period wardrobe really helps with a sci-fi movie. I mean, maybe if we're, you know... I guess if we're, you know, making it at a certain... I don't think we really have to do that. We can just... We're not making it like the 1900s or making it in like the 2500s or whatever, right? So like, I guess it could work, but I'm going to hold off on that for now, I think. Yeah. And that takes writing. So this is a horror movie. No, it's not really a horror movie. It's a monster sci-fi movie. So maybe the writing doesn't have to be all that great. I think you would definitely want good costumes and makeup and set design. You would definitely want these things up there. So I think I have to bring this down. We're not going to go a whole lot with the writing on this one, I guess. And if we're going to spend this much, we might as well go out and make it right. So you know what? Fine. We will take the period wardrobe and put it in there. So maybe if we're in the future, then that's what we'll do, you know? I feel like I want to have a little bit more writing than this, but no, that's not what we're going to do. There it goes. Hits next. Wow, that's lots of A's there. I like that. Yeah, good. So we made 270,000 total on that film. It's not a lot, but it's, you know, it's something. But we still have this number dropping down, and I think it's mostly because of the loan. So take this. Yeah, we still owe 27 million. Again, it's sucking $198,000 out of me every month. So I have to keep pace with that interest. Okay, post-production planning. We don't know anything about sci-fi or monsters or anything, so I think we could probably take the editing down a little bit. Sound design and music, I think, is going to be a bigger deal. Special effects might be a bigger deal here. I think that might actually be more for sci-fi stuff and monsters and stuff. I think actually special effects would be a much higher budget in this case. Yeah, let's take, let's go like this. We'll try that. See how that balance works. And then we're going to give Jacqueline something to do because we'll be finally into the post-production process and she can take that. All right, we're going to distribution. We want this. And then we're going to pick Jacqueline in sales. All right, so hopefully she finds us a better distributor, right? Something that's a really good deal for us. We'll see. We don't have a great networking skill. We don't have good trust or negotiation skills yet, but we'll give her some practice and she'll do good things for us, I hope. This is that's more money than I want to spend on a movie. And if I'm a very early studio, that's more money than I want to spend on a movie. All right, we have joined artists and we have work in progress again. Let's see what we have for competition, both of these. They seem to be about the same. It looks like they're going to basically release it at the same time. So It doesn't really matter who we go with. This one takes a lower cut, so I think that's where we want. They also have a higher rating, so joined artist is where we want for this. And we don't have anything competing with us, thankfully. Even though there's some more PG-13 movies, they're not sci-fi stuff. So I think that's going to work out for this date. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Make a movie and use your salesman to find third-party distribution deals. Yep. So our company's prestige is going up, and we have the research points too, which we can put into. There's our sales stuff. Let's go to production. Maybe we do props. Maybe high-tech gadgets would have been nice to have for a sci-fi movie, right? High-tech gadgets would have been good. Lights and decor. I mean, natural lighting is good, right? Capture cinematic visuals using natural light. Thematic furniture. Breakable sets. Fog, smoke, lighting for the mood. That can really be cinematic too. I'm gonna take that. Atmospheric effects are nice. All right, cool. Let's see whether or not she does anything better for us here by this domestic marketing. Let's see how we do. Okay, well, the ratings aren't as great, but I mean, we kind of knew that was gonna happen just because of the way this film was set up. But it's okay. It's all right. Hopefully we still make money. That's the important thing. We need to make money. Get more than 40 million in your bank account and then move to a small office. Move to the small. This isn't the small office. This is the closet is what this is. This isn't a small office at all. All right, cool. So this is the start, right? And this stuff here does get bigger, right? Your office environment does get bigger, and you get more people in there, more desks in there and stuff. Things get expanded as you go, okay? So it's not just this little office. This movie ended up, unfortunately, losing us money overall. That's just the way that goes. But you know what? Our people got some experience, so they'll be ready to go and do better stuff later, yeah? Anyway, that is The Executive. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Again, thank you so much to Goblins for sponsoring this video, and I hope you will check out the link in the description to learn more about it. And maybe hit the comments and ask questions, or tell me if you want me to keep playing. Okay? Thanks. We'll see ya. Bye-bye.